Joe DiMaggio was a center fielder for the Yankees in his 13-year career. He was three-time MVP award winner and is most known for his 36-game hitting streak, a record that still stands today. By the early 1950s, television became increasingly popular. Before this, only three stations, NBC, CBS, and ABC, were available for people to watch. Sitcoms like I Love Lucy began to appear on television to give the American people entertainment to watch. Marilyn Monroe was a famous singer and actress in the 1950s. She was considered the most popular sex symbol, and for a short time she was married to Joe DiMaggio. The first polio vaccine was developed in 1955 by Jonas Salk. This vaccine was inactivated and it was considered safer than the oral vaccines. These vaccines have helped limit the number of polio cases in the world since 1955. Rocky was an American boxer. He is most known for holding his world heavyweight title for 4 years, 1952 to 1956, and he went on undefeated through his entire career, and his knockout win percentage of 87% still remains one of the highest in boxing today. Joseph Stalin served as the premier of Soviet Union from 1941 to his death in 1953. Before then, he served as the general secretary of the Soviet Union, and by 1937, he was the country's dictator. He formed a set of ideas called Stalinism in the country. Peter Pan was an animated movie produced by Walt Disney in 1953. This film follows the adventures of Wendy and Peter Pan along with the help of Tinkerbell. The film was remade in 2005 by Disney.
The Montgomery bus boycott ended on December 20th in 1956. The whole boycott started because Rosa Parks, an African-American woman, refused to sit in the back of the bus where blacks were supposed to sit at this time. She was arrested and it caused an uproar. African-Americans went on strike and didn't ride the public buses in Montgomery, Alabama for a little over a year. In 1958, the Starkweather homicide got national media attention. It was a killing spree that was done by Charles Starkweather and his girlfriend. They went on a rampage, killing a total of 10 people, 3 of whom were related to Charles' girlfriend. It was a huge media ordeal, and many people went on the hunt looking for them. The couple was caught, and Charles was sentenced to the death penalty. His girlfriend, however, was sentenced to life in prison, but was released in 1976. In 1958, some pregnant women were taking a medication called thalidomide to help with their morning sickness. This drug was not thoroughly tested before it was used, and the women that took it had deformed babies. Some of these deformities were stubs for arms and legs. Out of the 10,000 babies born with this defect, only 5,000 lived past childhood. Ham the chimpanzee was the first chimp to fly to space. He followed a few monkeys that had already made it, but was the first primate to make it. He was sent into space on January 31st, 1961. He wasn't harmed in any way during the flight and paved the way for humans to be sent into space. Hula hoops became a very popular thing to do. Everyone had one and would try to spin it around their waist. It was very trendy, but died out very quickly. September 8, 1960 was the day that the movie Psycho was released. It was a popular horror movie that was directed by Alfred Hitchcock. A famous scene from the movie is when the girl is in the shower and the murderer comes and stabs her. The screechy violin music during the scene has become very popular with today's horror films. November 22, 1963 was the day that President John F. Kennedy was shot and died. He was riding in an open-top car down the street waving to the crowd when Lee Harvey Oswald shot him. He was on the 6th floor of a building that was overlooking the street. Just 80 minutes after it happened, Oswald was captured and put in jail.
1960, the first oral contraceptive of birth control, Invoid, was approved by the FDA. This was credited to Margaret Sanger, who created the first birth control pill with a research project that she raised $150,000 for. In 1968, a group called the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestinians hijacked a plane on the El Al Israeli Airlines. They kept the crew hostage for 40 days until they got the demands they wanted. This was one incident that sparked a worldwide concern about hijacking. In 1964, veterans of the Vietnam War experienced the most homelessness. This is believed to be because most soldiers came home with some form of mental health problems and the public's negative outlook on the war and the soldiers who fought.
Out.
In 1981, 5 healthy gay men became very ill. This led to the discovery of AIDS, which escalated into what is known as the AIDS epidemic.
Ryan,
it is spread through sexual intercourse, needles, and blood.
Dude, get away from me.
In 1984, the crack epidemic began. The drug was spread across cities in America. By 1985, routine users of crack rose from 4.2 million to 5.8 million.
What, some crack?
In the 1970s, a series of advertisement campaigns by Coca-Cola and Pepsi, who each argued the better of the two colas, began. Pepsi initiated first in the debate, claiming that they were the better of the two products.